Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about a realistic scan assess. That's the focus of today's exercise. Now normally if we draw on fire, ideally we want to move to cover if we can, and return fire from there and do our scan assess from there, okay? In a defensive situation that happens at relatively close range, a few feet or a few short yards, we may not have the time to move to cover. We may have to shoot from the position that we're at, okay, or at best we might be able to get a sidestep and shoot from there, okay. In that situation, what we want to do is we want to move to cover, okay, and then do our scan assess from there. We don't want to be out in the open doing our scan assess. And the other thing is that when we do our scan assess, rather than scan assessing like that, it's probably a good idea to cover the gun and do a scan assess like that, because especially if you're out in the open somewhere, you don't want to be seen with a gun because they might think that you're the bad guy, okay? So these are things that we want to drill. So I'm going to do a drill right now, and you guys can see how this looks. Alright, so that was a realistic type of situation. I encountered a threat, quickly returned fire, moved to cover, did a scan assess, saw another threat, engaged that, did another scan assess, okay? Let's do this one more time. Alright, so that time I did my scan assess. When I felt comfortable, I also did a magazine change because that's a good place to do a magazine change. In this situation here, I had cover from the tree and I had concealment from the bushes around it, okay? On this side over here with the barrels, I only had concealment since bullets can travel through barrels, okay? So now let's talk about when we do our scan assess, what are we looking for, okay? We're looking for things that are out of the ordinary, okay? Normally, if there are gunshots fired, people are going to be either running away or running to cover, okay? If you've got somebody that's doing something different, you should probably pay a little extra attention to that person or that group of people. Now, it may be a bad guy, all right? In which case, you got to be prepared to defend yourself. Or it might be a police officer, either plain clothes or in uniform. Maybe you can't see the uniform. So these are things that you gotta look for. Now, how do you know if it's a good guy or a bad guy, right? Let's say you see somebody with a gun. How they hold their gun is usually a good tell, okay? Are they moving around, either like this, or even like this, or with a temple index like this, okay? These are all indicators that this person has received training, and most bad guys don't get much training, okay? So these are the things that we're looking at. So how can you practice this, all right? Let's say you're at your home range, perhaps they don't allow, 360 degrees, scan assess. Well, what we can do is, we can keep the gun forward, and we can practice turning around like that, all right? So let's try that now. All right, we're here, call threat, bring the gun in, guns forward, we do our scan assess, okay? So that's one way that you can practice your scan assess. What you don't want to do is the spastic neck twitch, okay? You'll see that a lot of times. People will fire, boom, boom, okay? That doesn't do anything. You're not actually seeing anything. So you want to, and it can give you a headache too. It's annoying. So after you fire your shot, okay, come in, do a realistic scan and assess. Now, I advise to scan and assess in all defensive situations, even if you are in your own home. There's only one entrance, okay? So you got bad guy in front of you with the one door, and you got a wall to your left, wall to your right, a wall behind you. I still advise the scan and assess, because there's an additional benefit to the scan and assess besides just trying to find other bad guys. It breaks tunnel vision, okay? Now, a realistic situation is if you ever have to shoot in self-defense, okay, if you don't practice self-defense, if you don't practice scan and assess, this is what it's going to look like. And you'll freeze right there, okay? So by doing the scan and assess, even if we're in an enclosed environment where there's no doors or windows, there's only one forward entrance, by doing the scan and assess, what we're really doing is we're jump starting our brain, okay? We're getting our brain to start thinking about other things, okay? Rather than just sitting there fixed on the situation, okay? Now, unless you've been in combat, okay, if you see a shot person in front of you, basically you're gonna most likely freeze, okay? This person, basically you might have either just killed somebody, or you might have somebody that you just wounded. Perhaps they're gushing blood all over the place. So you're gonna freeze, okay? That's a very common reaction to having just been involved in a defensive shooting. So we need to drill something to break us out of that, okay? And that's what the scan assess is, okay? So you take that shot, come in, you do your scan assess, okay? And you reholster, and all of a sudden your brain is not working, okay? Now you can think of what you got to do next. Call 911. Check the other people around you that might be in the house with you. Make sure they're safe. Administer first aid if you need to. Call your lawyer. These are all things that you're going to start thinking of. But in order to start thinking of that, you need to basically get away from that tunnel vision where you're just looking at the situation in front of you, okay? So that's one of the great benefits of the scan assess. It gets you to the next level, to the next step, rather. And one of the ways I've heard this put very well is, in a shooting type of situation, you always want to have a job, okay? Your first job is stop the threat, okay? Okay, great, you did that. What's your next job? You want to have a job, okay? You want to basically call 911. You gotta, basically be prepared to, deal with lawyers, deal with police, do the first aid. So you always have to have a job, and part of your job might be continual scanning, assessing, waiting for the police to arrive, being alert. So you always want your brain thinking of what am I doing now? What do I gotta do next? All right, and like I said, to get to that, you gotta get out of that frozen mode, and get into that work mode, of doing something. All right. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.